Today I'm going to share some no-line colouring, but we're using stencils. Hi there, welcome. It's Therese from Lostinpaper, and look at this beautiful new Craft Your Life project kit. It's called Hello Beautiful and it is stunning. This kit comes with a large set of stamps, a coordinating dies, a 3D embossing folder, as well as some colouring stencils. Now this is where I got my idea. I thought I do really like the look of no-line colouring, and how can I go about that with the stencils? So I'm going to share with you how I did it. I started by stamping out all of my floral images, so the two flower images and also a spare set of leaves, and I stamped those in a pale colour. This is the key to that no-line colouring look, because it is actually lines. It's not technically no lines, it just has the look of no lines if you fully colour it in, which I'm not going to do today, but it still has that similar look. So stamp your base images out in a pale colour, and I chose pink. I know it doesn't make sense to use pink when I'm going to be using green on the leaves, but to be honest, you can't tell. When the final colours are laid down over top of such a pale colour, you really can't see that I didn't use a green on the image. If you wanted to, you could actually stamp those separately with a pale green colour, but you really don't need to. I used the blush colour ink to initially stamp out these three images, and this set of stencils, there's like 5 different stencils in the set, and they have 2 different layers for each. So that means 2 layers for the leaves, and on the leaves here I did use both of those layers. So I used on the base layer the Misty Moor green, and the top layer I used frayed leaf, and used the big ink blending tool to blend those colours. And I'm just using some post-it notes here to protect the remainder of my image and also my cardstock. For the flower itself, I decided not to actually colour the whole base of the flower, all the petals. I just did the layer of shading, and I'm using the blush ink again. So this is the same colour that I stamped my images with. You can still sort of see, once I added the colour, you can sort of see the lines of the initial stamping, but not much. I wasn't happy with the depth of colour. You could leave it like this, but I took it a step further, and what I've got here is one of the detailed blending brushes and a darker colour. This is the Rouge, and I'm picking up a little bit of colour here and shading from the centre of the petals, and also a little bit on the edge of the petals, and that's just going to give me a little bit of depth here. Just this little extra step can make all the difference. And this is such a pretty colour combo. For the centre of the flower, I decided to come in with some yellows. I have the butternut colour, and I am using the large blending tool here just because I had it on hand, and I just used post-it notes to protect the rest of my work, and then to add a little bit of detail to the centre of these flowers, I did actually come in with that detailed blending brush and a darker colour, and I used the yellow ochre here. It's a really simple, fast way to add colour, get that real subtle, pretty floral look, and you can make a bunch of these in no time at all. How pretty is this flower? I just love it. I did go ahead and colour my other images exactly the same, and then all I did was use the coordinating dies here. This is a really simple, easy card to make, and I just cut these all out in one pass of my die cutting machine, hold them in place with some low tack tape, and they do leave that slight border on the edge of the die cut, but I think that just gives it a little bit more definition on the card. You could also, if you didn't have the coordinating dies, fussy cut these images out, or actually stamp them directly on the front of your card rather than die cut them out. But I wanted to add a bit of dimension And I've got my foam tape, which I've added to all the back of these images, and just basically popped them over the whole front of my A2 card. It's a top fold, which is the finished size is 4¼ by 5½ inches. And then I can just, once I've got them all placed down, just snip away the extra pieces that are hanging off over the edges. So basically it's just 3 simple images popped up on the front of the card, and I decided to add a really simple sentiment today. And I've got the All About You, it's the word die set, and I've die cut it twice. The base portion I've done with some vellum, and then the top portion I actually used the Dazzling Diamond cardstock here. I'm like getting a little bit obsessed with the glittery cardstock from Altenew. And this packet's really pretty. I used a liquid glue to hold it all together, and to pop that up off the front of the card I actually laid and joined 3 further die cuts of the word you, just the smaller outline one, and then I set it behind the vellum, and that's just going to give it some support, and I can add that to the front of my card with some liquid glue as well. I did do a sub sentiment here from the Modern Hello stamp set, and I decided not to use black ink. I haven't been using black ink on all my cards. Let me know, have you been using coloured ink for your sentiments too? Is this a new thing, or is it just something I've gone back to? I don't know. I really like the look of sentiments stamped in colours at the moment. And I did add a bit of shine to the centre of my flowers, and that's my finished card. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like today's video, please click on the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, I'd love you to subscribe. I've got lots more coming your way. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.